Anil Nable, Mr. Prahlad Joshi, Mr. Mohan Nair, Mr. K.K. Choksi, Mr. Rajesh Vaidya, and Mr. Sunil Patel for the light dancing session. Please welcome, sir. Please give a big round of applause, guys.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा।
Now I request Ms. Anchal Dixit to give a few words about Society of Human Resource Professionals. Please put your hands together for Ms. Anchal Dixit.
Good morning, everyone, like that. But the journey became significant with the kind of support and blessings we have been receiving with us. It was year around August 2018 where the seed of this association came into the minds of enthusiastic HR professionals and who really wanted to contribute towards HR profession, for which we seek your support, and undoubtedly it's in front of you all that this is what keeps us going. We have done several programs which is free, and only support we seek is in terms of your participation and your blessings all the time. It began with approximately 7 to 8 people, and now we are a family of 600 in just 1 year down the line. I take pride in calling myself the committee member and also as a brand ambassador for SHRP. Of course, we are just nothing, we are just want to go a mile in which we want to take this society to the national level. In future also, we'll keep on doing such programs where we will need your support. So I wish this event very good luck, and I know this is some kind of a unique event that SHRP has again launched, and thanks to all of you to be a part of it. Thank you.
Now I request Mr. Rajesh Vaidya, Executive Vice President, HR, Transmix Silos Industries Private Limited, to come on the stage and set the context for this event. Please give a big round of applause for Mr. Rajesh Vaidya. Please welcome, sir.
गाने चेंज मार चैनल चेंज करना
Thank you.
हाँ बंदे नहीं उड़े
Good morning, namaskar, and welcome. As you know, my name is Rajesh Vaidya, and it's my delight and pleasure to welcome you all here. In the next few moments, I'm going to give the context and outline, the thought process behind today's what we call HR Sammelan. But before that, let me extend my heartfelt gratitude for the honors which SHRP organizers have bestowed by inviting me. And of course, this invitation is not free. It has some honors and some nice duties to be discharged. As Anchal has introduced, and some of you might know, SHRP is relatively a new kid on the block. There are quite a few HR forums that are active in Gujarat. I got involved somewhere in mid-2019 in an event where they had gone. And I was quite impressed with their work ethic, their whole commitment towards various causes of HR. They have a huge social responsibility angle, and in every event that they do, they make a point to felicitate some of the silent warriors or contributors who are making our lives richer in various dimensions. So when Hiren Bhai and his team, they approached and requested in terms of the Sammelan design, me, Sunil Pathak and Sandeep Purohit, we all jumped into it because we know that we are contributing towards a worthy cause. So what is the event and how the day is going to unfold? As Anchal has already mentioned, that the primary target audience or primary constituency of SHRP is entry to mid-level HR professionals who are committed, who are hungry to learn, and who genuinely want to contribute, and as a consequence they want to grow in the careers. So keeping this audience, target audience in mind, we zeroed down on three fundamental aspects, and they pretty much form the center of today's events. Number one, concept of value creation. How to be a value creating HR professional. Number two, how to create a sustained and growing impact. How to create and continue to have a sustained and growing impact. And three, how to remain current and relevant in terms of knowledge, skill and effectiveness. So these are the three areas that we thought would be relevant, keeping our target audience in mind. And of course, our organizers, they expressed their satisfaction in terms of, yes, I think people should, participants should enjoy or would find this approach quite relevant. So with these three points in the focus or in the center, we have arranged different types of deliveries. So these three areas will be deliberated, will be seen through different aspects or different contexts. So the first segment, that is value, we have Pujya Shri Gyanvatsal Swami ji. I think some of you would have heard his sessions. He's quite a popular and revered speaker, not only in India but abroad. And I was told that the first event which SHRP did, Swamiji blessed in person, and no wonder that SHRP has become such a big hit in Baroda. So, yes, and as I was understood. Welcome, Swamiji. Blessed to have you here. Please take a seat. So Swamiji, as you were walking in, I was mentioning about the first event of SHRP was blessed by you, and from 6, within 1 year, SHRP has grown to 600 plus members, and with blessings like yours, I think it is going to grow in strength, leaps and bounds. So Swamiji is going to talk on a very deep and meaningful subject called creating value and being of value. Yeah. And I'm sure we all are very eager to listen to Swamiji. Now this session will be followed by a panel interaction with the theme Making of High Impact HR Professionals. And in this panel we are going to have very highly accomplished panelists, Sonali Mungle, KB Lele and Nilay Narayan, and I'll be moderating that session. And that will be followed by a very special segment. As we all know that SHRP has a very strong social commitment, and those who have made difference to the society, SHRP honors them by awards and felicitation. So we have this Gyanvatsal Awards, and that will be bestowed to G. Narayana, Professor Anil Navle and Sri Babu Bhai Parak. So we all would be very eagerly looking for that. Post-lunch we have Ajay Bhatt and Sandeep Purohit taking us through an interesting format and live demonstration of reverse mentoring. And of course, we also have some fun and games to make the weekend alive. Yeah. And towards the end, SHRP is going to express their appreciation towards their pillars of strength from media, hospitality and publication industry. So that's pretty much the outline of the day. So how does it sound? Interesting? So let's get going, and over to you, MCs. Thank you.
Very good morning, all of you. Good morning. Thank you so much. मैं just अभी लिफ्ट में ऊपर आ रहा था. I have pressed. ये प्रोग्राम कौन से फ्लोर पे है? Fifth floor. Exactly. So मैंने fifth floor press किया. And somebody entered into the lift, and he pressed. Fourth floor पे वो बंदा enter हुआ. I said him, I'm going to fifth floor. Please don't press ground level. He pressed ground level. So I don't know what happened, and lift went down. This is exactly happens in our life. That हम काफी बार grow करने की कोशिश करते हैं, but because of the many external factors or because of the so many things, sometimes we went down in our life. But let me tell you, when I went to the ground level again, somebody came to me. I don't know who was he. He told me, "Sir, it's okay. It happens. It's normal. Once again, let's press 5 and let's go up." And I thought, I understood at that time, the person who guided me, जिसने मुझे ये बोला कि fifth floor once again press करिए, I think so, that was SHRP. In SHRP, what we do, we specifically help people to grow. In SHRP, what we do, we help people to learn something extraordinary thing that I think so it is very rare. And that is why आज हम सब लोग यहाँ पे इकट्ठा हुए हैं इतने बड़े numbers में. So first of all, I would like to tell you and I would like to congratulate you for being here, and please clap for yourself, everyone, that you are here. So now I will not take much time because मैं भी यहाँ पे स्वामी जी को सुनने आया हूँ, आप सब यहाँ पे स्वामी जी को सुनने आए हैं. So I think so जब हम किसी को invite करते हैं ना, especially स्वामी जी, ज्ञानवत्सल स्वामी जी, तो जो ऑलरेडी इतनी अच्छी पर्सनालिटी है, उतने सारे लोग जानते हैं. So everybody knows Swamiji's introduction, but very few people know the struggle, how he reached to the position. जब कोई इंसान successful बनता है ना, everybody knows his introduction, but very few people know his struggle. Am I right? So, being a mechanical engineer, he has traveled a lot to the different experiments, and हम सब जानते हैं बहुत सारी countries में he is delivering lots of programs. यूथ को मोटिवेट करते हैं, कॉर्पोरेट्स को मोटिवेट करते हैं, वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल्स को मोटिवेट करते हैं. ही हैज इंस्पायर्ड आई थिंक सो मोर देन मिलियन लाइव्स. एंड आप जहाँ भी देखोगे फेसबुक पे और यूट्यूब पे, ही इज एवरीवेयर, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इनडायरेक्टली डायरेक्टली ही इज मोटिवेटिंग एवरी इंडिविजुअल. सो आई थिंक सो विदाउट टेकिंग मच टाइम, लेट्स इनवाइट one of the best moment you can say, and one of the best speaker and one of the best inspirational personality you can have in the program. So before inviting them, I would like to tell you that SHRP शुरुआत हुआ, तो we started with a very big bang, बहुत अच्छे programs किए, स्वामी जी ने आशीर्वाद दिया मार्च में, है ना? I was once again स्वामी जी fortunate second time to invite you on the stage. First time मैंने आपको invite किया था, and second time निशान जी give me an opportunity इस बार भी आप invite करें. So that is always my opportunity, that's why I'm fortunate enough. So if you are running something for free, you always need some help. किसी को help करने के लिए भी कुछ help चाहिए होती है. So after getting so many suggestions कि आप लोग इतने अच्छे program कर रहे हो, so as a committee members, everybody decided and they reached to the one conclusion कि हम वो चीज़ की शुरुआत आज से कर रहे हैं कि जो भी आपको voluntarily help करनी है SHRP को, तो you can help SHRP voluntary, आपको वहाँ पर desk मिल जाएगा. Whatever amount you can help SHRP to run this show very precisely and very next level, है ना? So please make sure that आपका थोड़ा contribution हो सकता है हम लोग और लोगों तक पहुँच पाए, right? So without wasting your time, let's invite Gyanvatsal Swami ji with a round of applause and with a standing ovation, everyone. Okay, please, thank you. So let's give a clap and let's invite, please.
गुणातीतोऽक्षरं ब्रह्म भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः जनो जानन्निदं सत्यं मुच्यते भवबन्धनात्. श्री स्वामीनारायण भगवान की जय. अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराज की जय. राधा कृष्ण देव की जय. सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज की जय. महंत स्वामी महाराज की जय. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज शताब्दी महोत्सव की जय. With prostrations of the divine feet of Bhagavan Swaminarayan and my Guru Hari, Param Pujya Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Pragat Guru Hari, Param Pujya Mahant Swami Maharaj, my heartiest namaskar, good morning, and Jai Swaminarayan. To all the leaders and team members of SHRM and all the delegates present for the conference today. Well, the topic shared with me for the talk today, being of value and creating value. Because the HR function in any setup, in any professional atmosphere, is a kind of a role that has the responsibility to keep up the energy levels of all the employees, to keep all the employees in good mood, to inspire them for the best output from the resources that they have, and overall maintain a long-term stability of the company. I come from the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, which is one of the largest organizations in the world, with a permanent seat in the United Nations. I today share with you some of explicit points of HR, because our whole organization is dependent upon HR. Because we are a volunteer-driven organization. We are an NGO. आप सभी ने अक्षरधाम देखा होगा गांधीनगर या दिल्ली में. Just raise your hands. सभी ने देखा है। ऐसे छोटे मोटे हमारे 1200 कैंपस, 1200 campuses across the world. We run more than 110 hospitals, hostels, schools and colleges. And the major part of all these functionaries is all run on volunteer basis. That is voluntarism. So we have to constantly be with the people, constantly know more about them, constantly take care of them, constantly know about their positives and negatives, keep on inspiring them constantly, keep on helping them personally, keep on helping them to have their maximum output of their resources. So 24/7 we are into HR. And this gives a better insight into this particular aspect of growth. You people work in an atmosphere where it is pay and smile relationship. Your employer is paying you, you are liking the pay, so you are working for him. Your work is liked by your employer, that is, you are paying him in terms of work, so he is paying you, and there is a smile on his face. So it is called the pay and smile relationship. We in NGOs, we work in serve and smile relationships, so HR is better read there. We work in serve and smile relationship structure. The working models of a professional company and an NGO are different. In serve and smile, you serve and you keep a smile on your face. I'm serving in this organization since 29 years. I don't have a bank account, I don't get paid, and still you won't see a single lesser ounce of joy on my face than yours. So here it is a serve and smile relationship. You have to serve and smile. So in that relationship, in that work structure, you need better HR. Two forms of HR. We have understood only one form, human resources. But human resources stands firmly with a good foundation on the first form of HR, that is human relationships. Human relationships के बिना human resources खड़ा नहीं रह सकता. Human resources का foundation HR. I've been told to mix Hindi and English for the betterment of the audience. Human relations is the foundation of human resources. Human relations अच्छे होंगे तो ही human resources अच्छे रहेंगे. और जो ह्यूमन रिलेशंस या ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज की आप बात करते हैं, उसमें 3H आते हैं. एक बहुत अच्छी पुस्तक, टाइटल ऑफ द बुक इज व्हाट दे डोंट टीच यू एट हार्वर्ड. टाइटल ऑफ द बुक इज व्हाट दे डोंट टीच यू एट हार्वर्ड, in which they write that for the complete development of the human being you need 3H development. First H is the hand, but when only the hand works, it is labor. Second H is the head. When the hand and the head they work together, it becomes skill. And the third H is the heart. When the hand, head and the heart, all three work together, it becomes art. HR is making art out of every work and deed. You work from the heart. When you work from the heart, you become a perfect HR manager. 3H equally applicable here in HR. First H is the hand. You wish and greet all the employees there. First H is the hand. You wish and greet all the employees well. By all the employees, I include your gatekeeper and security as well, which normally we don't do. आप में से कितने लोगों ने सिक्योरिटी, लिफ्टमैन, वॉचमैन, गेटकीपर और ड्राइवर को भी गुड मॉर्निंग सुबह में कहते हो रोज फेथफुली? हाँ, क्वाइट मेनी ऑफ यू आई अप्रिशिएट. एचआर वहां से शुरू होता है. सिर्फ मैनेजरियल लेवल पे एचआर करना, फ्रॉम द बॉटम. Second H is the head. Your thinking, your rational logic to solve an issue. First to understand it well. That is your second H. And the third H is your heart, your compassion and empathy. So HR is wishing and greeting, thinking and rational logic, compassion and empathy. All these six combined together makes you a good HR manager. We have been with Pramukh Swami Maharaj for decades. He was an extraordinary HR manager, human relationships and human resources both. First, as I told you, vision with people. Meet people with a very good smile on your face. In 1992, when we had the inauguration of Akshardham at Gandhinagar, we had a 34-day festival, and the who's who of India, we had invited them. We used to felicitate them, and we had a 34-day long festival exhibiting Indian culture, art, dance, folk dances, everything. One of our guests was Mr. G.S. Sainani, Dr. Gurumukh Sadhanmal Sainani. Today, at the age of 95, he is still very much active at the Mumbai hospital. He was in the queue to meet Pramukh Swami Maharaj. He was observing Pramukh Swami Maharaj, how he's meeting people. And after his meeting, and after his felicitation from the main stage, in his speech he mentioned this, that we physicians, we have six senses. And the six senses, we can understand the heart, the emotions and feelings of people. But today, when I saw Pramukh Swami Maharaj meeting people, even my sixth sense could not pick up the compassion, the love and the pity with which he meets people. This makes you a good HR manager. Compassion, love, empathy. This is what is needed when you wish and greet people. Not just a plastic smile, because it is a routine. That is your wishing and greeting. So when you meet people, meet with all the heart that you have. When you are meeting and greeting people, no place for the second H, that is head. Only place is for the first and the third H, hand and heart. When you deal with them, definitely a big place for the second H. When you wish and greet them, no place for the second H. Second H is your rational thinking. When there is an issue between two working colleagues, when there is an issue, a complaint from an employee, you are definitely involved. You have to think rationally. But in that rational thinking, you don't have to forget that you are dealing with a human being and you are not dealing with machines. You have to take all the factors, all the components and elements, and all the backgrounds of that employee before judging him, least taking a decision about him and reporting it to the top management. So you need to develop your IQ as well, intelligent quotient. That you think rationally, you act purposefully, and you deal with the situation very effectively for the optimum output, for the best result that is in the benefit of both the company and the employee. I tell you an incident of the class of the balance between these two. Balance between rational thinking to deal a situation and a human heart to take care of the employee as well. Did you get my point? Many years back, I am talking of the 70s. At that time, John D. Rockefeller, he was the first dollar billionaire upon this earth. His company's name was Standard Oil Company. One day he got an input that because of a wrong decision taken by one of his senior and trusted employee, one of his core team members, the company has incurred a loss of $2 million. I'm talking of the 70s. So he started an internal inquiry. He got the final report on the table, he read it. Then he called the employee to his chamber, and the employee came to know that I'll be fired by my boss. Maybe other perks and bonuses are at risk. But fine. He went into the CMD's chamber. Now see the HR of the CMD. He was like with his head down in a state of misery, standing in front of J.D. Rockefeller. Yes, sir. Rockefeller looks at him. He sees and understands and experiences his miserable state of mind. First, he offers him a seat. Please have your seat. Second thing, he offers him a glass of water to make him comfortable. Third thing, he pulls out from his drawer a piece of paper. And then starts talking with the employee. That this has happened, this decision, and this has incurred a loss of $2 million to the company. He said, yes, sir. I'm extremely sorry about it, but as you wish. Rockefeller goes on that I've gone through your 28 years of honest, ethical bonding with the company. Since last 28 years that you have joined the company, you have worked here with all the ethics, norms, disciplines, and the culture of the company. On 5-7 occasions in the last 28 years, there have been incidents where it clearly showed your faithfulness and integrity towards the company. A couple of occasions does show that your inputs, your piece of information has helped the company a lot in making some good profits. So, then he tears off that piece of paper, throws it into the dustbin. So this mistake, which has incurred a loss of $2 million to the company, doesn't stand at all in front of my eyes, doesn't stand at all in front of my eyes, and I have called you to my chamber not to fire you, but I have called you to my chamber to promote you. I am superseding you to 2 positions, so that that position empowers you to take better decisions with full authority. So I know what is in your hearts. You want to pay back this $2 million to the company with interest. That is in your heart. I am creating a better atmosphere for you. You are promoted today. कभी ये बातें ऐसी सुनी भी हैं कि कोई एम्प्लॉई इतनी बड़ी गलती कर दी, $2 million का लॉस आया, and the CMD promotes him on that. कभी सुना भी नहीं होगा, देखा तो नहीं होगा, अनुभव तो शायद ही कर पाओगे. But this is how great businessmen, great entrepreneurs, they work. This is the story of J.D. Rockefeller, the first dollar billionaire upon this earth. And that employee within 2.5 years, he could come up with decisions, he could come up with new businesses, and he repaid everything to the company and worked for long years, faithfully, full of integrity in the company. So when, as an HR manager, as a decision-making person for any employee, or a decision part of the decision-making team for any employee, further continuation or not with the company, definitely apply your logical mind. But at the same time, you need to equally make use of your human hearts to well balance the situation for the final outcome. And that is why God has given us both that. The head is the head and the heart. And if you don't make the optimum use of both, while dealing with people and circumstances and situations, you don't justify your role. You have not properly taken care of your work, of the people, of the employees, and of course the environment of the company. So that is very much needed. Care, concern, consideration. Let me ask you a couple of questions, because as I said, we are 24/7, 365 into HR, because we run a volunteer-driven organization, and to this day, as I said, you have been to Akshardham, we are creating such huge campuses on 265 acres of land in Robbinsville, New Jersey, and we'll inaugurate the project in August 2022. At this moment of time when I'm talking to you, more than 5,000 artisans are working on 26 different sites in Rajasthan for this project. It will be an ideal exhibition of Indian culture. Second huge project, Akshardham Like, is coming up in Johannesburg, South Africa. Third in Sydney, Australia. And perhaps 4 or 5 months back, you might have heard or read or seen in the newspapers or on the television that the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, His Royal Highness Sheikh Zayed, he gifted us, BAPS Sammelan organization, 27 acres of land on Dubai-Abu Dhabi Express Highway for coming up with an Akshardham Like project there. And just 5 days back, we performed the groundbreaking ceremony and we started the construction of the project. This will bring two different worlds together, two big religions close, two big ideologies to understand each other better. And it's absolutely a volunteer-driven work. So we are into HR day and night, 24/7, 365. My first question to you all, when you are HR managers, how many of you know the name of all the employees of your company? All the employees. About 7 to 10 hands raised. Then what all of you, rest of you, are doing at your workplace? न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हो, मैगजीन्स पढ़ते हो, व्हाट्सएप में चैट्स करते हो. First, primary, basic necessity of being a good HR manager, you must know all your employees by name and face. फाइल तो आपके पास है ही, लेके बैठ जाओ, मगर फोटो देखो अनीश पटेल, फोटो देखो हार्दिक शाह, चालू रखो. जैसे भगवान का नाम स्मरण करते हो, इनका भी नाम स्मरण करना, ये आपकी जॉब है. You are paid for that. You are paid for this activity. Let me tell you, if you don't know the name of all the employees of your company, be they 100, 500 or even 1000, you are not justifying your pay. आपको एक बात कहूंगा, बहुत आश्चर्य आपको आएगा, आश्चर्य सी आपको लगेगी. प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज knew, and without any slightest exaggeration, I put forward this statement. Pramukh Swami Maharaj knew 25,000 people by name and face. इससे भी बड़ी बात आपको कहूँ, he could write on the cover after inserting the letter to be posted the address of that person. Such 10,000 addresses he could write without referring the address book. आपका जो बेस्ट फ्रेंड होगा ना, उसके घर आप जा पाओगे, आपका लेटर नहीं पहुंचेगा, हाँ, ईमेल पहुंचेगा, पोस्ट लेटर नहीं पहुंचेगा. Am I right or wrong? वो आपको याद है कि 35A स्टर्लिंग अपार्टमेंट बिहाइंड पोस्ट ऑफिस, ये सब नहीं लिख पाओगे. He could write. One step ahead of that, Pramukh Swami Maharaj personally visited more than 18,000 villages and 3.5 lakh homes. In small towns of England, Europe and America, if he is visiting the devotee's house again, after a span of 10, 15 or even 20 years, he could guide the driver through the lanes of it. अब ये मैंने आपके लिए एक बार सेट कर दिया. कूदना चालू कर दो जहां तक पहुंचो। ये HR की different human relationships and thereafter at human resources का एक different bar है, and that is why you could create this organization, that organization that I come from. He could win the hearts of people. हमारे जैसे 1100 संतों को दीक्षा दी, इनमें से 750 of them are graduates, post graduates, chartered accountants, doctors and engineers. इनमें से 150 से भी हमारे ज्यादा संत born American British citizen हैं। इनमें से हमारे 50 से भी ज्यादा संत स्टैनफोर्ड, हार्वर्ड, कार्नेगी मेलन, येल और किलोंग में पढ़े हैं। कई संत हमारे 1 लाख, 1.5 लाख, 2 लाख डॉलर की तनख्वाह छोड़ के यहाँ संत गए। मैंने इसलिए आपको कहा कि ये आप मत समझना कि कुछ जमा नहीं होगा, कुछ ठीक चला नहीं होगा, इसलिए यहाँ आ गया। कोई भी संत को देखते हैं तो इमीडिएटली ही बिकम्स बेचारा। आने बिचारा की जामी नहीं હોય, બધું જાણેલું જ હતું, બધું બરોબર જ હતું, because of Pramukh Swami Maharaj's selfless service to society, purity of his personal life and his profound devotion towards God, we got attracted towards him personally, and that is why we took Diksha at his hands. And as I am talking to you today, in the coming year, our present Guru Hari Mahan Swami Maharaj will initiate more than 150 youths into sainthood. Out of them, more than 75 are born and raised in UK and America. And they have graduated out from some of the best universities. तो ये कितना पावरफुल एचआर हुआ, क्या लोगों के मन, दिल और दिमाग जीत सकते हो? सो आपको सिर्फ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग के लिए वहां नहीं बिठाया है, आपको उन लोगों से एक स्नेह भाव, एक प्रेम, उनका दिल, दिमाग, उनका हृदय, उसकी भावनाएं समझ के उनके साथ एक इंटीमेसी कल्टीवेट करके उनका हृदय जीतने के लिए आप फिर इस परिस्थिति के बाद उसके जीवन में कोई भी प्रश्न होगा, ऑन द वर्क, ऑफ द वर्क, he can very effectively, easily share with you. वो आपका रोल है। दादा अगर प्रश्न से गाँव से उनकी बेसी नहीं लेवा, इन्हें सु प्रश्न से जाना पड़ा। How many of you work in companies which has less than 50 employees? Just raise your hands. Second, how many of you work in companies which has less than 100 employees? Now 500, 1,000, fine. Now I give you a project. You select 50 employees of your company to whom you want to give a personal touch. Seek an appointment, visit his home and sit with his family for half an hour. If Pramukh Swami Maharaj could visit 3.5 lakh homes, you could visit 35 at least. That will create a different bonding of you with your senior employees or the employees that you want to create a better bonding for a help, an extra help for the growth of your business, of your company. So ये दो काम मैंने आपको कहा, एक तो कल सुबह से जैसे भगवान का नाम स्मरण करते हो उसी तरह सभी एम्प्लॉइज के नाम का रटन चालू कर देना। Every employee should be greeted by his name. Good morning, Hardik. How are you, Mr. Patel? वो एयरप्लेन में एयर होस्टेस की तरह नहीं, एक ने नाम ना आवड़ता ना तो स्वाभाविक છે, પણ તને તો એચઆર મેનેજર તરીકે બેસાડ્યો છે, તને બધાના નામ આવડવા જ જોઈએ, બધાનો નાનો મોટો ઇશ્યુ ખબર જ હોવો જોઈએ, બધાની બર્થડેઝ અને એનિવર્સરીઝ वो आपको पता होना चाहिए, उसको विश करना पर्सनल लेवल पे और द एज पर द कंपनी पॉलिसी एंड द सेटअप. You have to be active. Actually, the HR profession is such that it has the maximum amount of work in the company. He has the maximum amount of work. And the tragedy is that they are doing minimum work. They have the maximum amount of responsibility. क्यों पता है? Start owning the responsibility. एक भी एम्प्लॉय कंपनी छोड़ के जाए तो आपको लगता है कि I have a moral responsibility to keep him here. वो जब आपको लगने लगे, then you are an HR professional. Reason तो कोई भी हो. For whichever reason he leaves the company, you should feel at some point that I am responsible for him leaving. The moment you start feeling that, you are a good, I think, better HR professional and an HR manager. No, my job is 2 employees left. So fine. Tomorrow I need to give an advertisement for 2 employees. वो तो क्लैरिकल वर्क आपने किया, HR का नहीं किया. वो क्या किया? क्लैरिकल वर्क. You are not meant for that. छोड़ के गए, उसके बाद 2 दिन के बाद चाहे वो वापस न आने वाला हो तो भी आप 1 घंटा उसके साथ बैठने के लिए call him at a hotel, call him at the garden, go to his house. What problem exactly you have? I know you are not rejoining the company, fine. I will not force you. But tell me, I being an HR manager, if I can analyze your case better, I will be able to work better in the next case. ये आप गए? क्यों नहीं गए? ये सब आपका काम है, इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ. You have the maximum work in the company और आप करते हो minimum. इसमें भी 50% क्लैरिकल काम करते हो. ये सब माइन्यूट पॉइंट्स हैं, ये सब डिटेलिंग है. 90% of your business, according to Harvard University study, depends upon your human relations with people. So you have to mind it well. And the third part is like your, after IQ it comes EQ. This is what I'm talking of. Emotional quotient. You have an HR degree. You have to have your emotional quotients well developed as well. I'm talking to you because, as I said, we are 24/7, 365 to HR. Your emotional quotient should also be well developed. Emotional quotient means you understand the emotions and empathy of the people there, considering yours and considering his. Before jumping to a conclusion, you take into consideration the final picture, the complete picture, and don't take a decision before that. For that, you have to balance your head well. Some employee complained to you about XYZ person. Note it down. But difficult to do that. If an employee of your group, of your liking, of your team sort of complains about an employee which is not in your team, not of your liking, not of your circles, you immediately believe it. कहीं भी अगर मैं आपको बोलूं, आप लोगों का एम्प्लॉइज अच्छा उपयोग कर लेते हैं, वो ऑब्जर्व करेगा कि एचआर मैनेजर को किसके साथ नहीं जमता है. 4-6 months of good observation, and then he complains about that employee to you, and you will immediately, without applying your brains, believe it. बैकग्राउंड तो बन गया, प्लेटफॉर्म तो तैयार है, and you will start a proceeding against him. This has really happened. Sometimes employees are smart enough to take advantage of your relationship with other employees. You have to be very much balanced. You have to take care of it. Because as I said, you have one side of experience, we have 2 sides experience. You only work with people who are paid. We day and night work with people who are paid and work with people who volunteer themselves selfless in the organization. So you people have the work structure of pay and smile. We have both, pay and smile and serve and smile. So कोई employee आपका उपयोग ना कर जाए, वो भी आप ध्यान रखना. This is also a very important aspect of these relationships. And from the inner self, if you are emotionally correct and high, it pays. it produces. I give you a very good example. I read in the Reader's Digest maybe a couple of decades back. A bank branch had about 5-7 counters for the cashiers. And there was a lady sitting on the third counter. But somehow, all the customers who come to the bank to draw money, I'm talking of the times before ATM. So they come to the bank to pick up their money. They would find a long queue with this lady. And the other 1, 2, 3 or even 4 cashiers would be sitting idle. So this was like surprising. Why? And the bank manager came out of his office to see this after he had an input about this. He again went back, thought thinking, a couple of days observation, again he saw this. And then he asked the lady, why everybody, all the customers queue up at your place and other few cashiers, tables are not at them, the customers don't flock up there. And he asked the other cashiers as well, that why don't customers come up to you? I don't know. And the lady also said, I don't know. Then he asked the clients, why do you all queue up at her place, and when we are offering you services, we have 3-4 counters as for cashiers, then why don't you go to the other counters and queue up here? Because you come up, you have this time constraints, this, that. The client said that somehow, after getting money from this lady, we feel that we are growing in business, my charity has increased, and now with this answer of the customers, a big field of survey opened up. So an internal team was formed. And after the survey, and after the interview with the cashier lady, she said, when I hand over the money in cash to the customer, of course it is his money, but when I hand over to him, I pray that let this money grow more for him, for the society, for the betterment of his employees, and may some part of this growth be used for charity. I pray. That prayers inspired tens and hundreds of customers. So this is not only being taught in the spiritual scriptures by the great seers and sages of India, it is scientifically proved that your good wish with enormous energy inside and a sense of selflessness definitely creates an energy, positive energy in the hearts and minds of people, inspiring them for what you were thinking during those times. अभी तो साइंटिफिकली क्लिनिकली ये भी प्रूव हुआ है कि आप रसोई घर में जब रसोई बनाते हो तब जो बनाने वाला जिस प्रकार के विचार उनके मन में चलते हैं वो उस फूड में आ जाते हैं और जो फूड जो लोग खाते हैं उसके मन में ये विचार प्रवेश होते हैं. दिस इज आल्सो साइंटिफिकली प्रूव. So you must pray for each and every employee of your company. Let all the employees enjoy their work here. Let there be a good sense of unity among them. Let us all be together for many years to come. Let us help the company and thus the society as well. इतनी प्रार्थना तो आप कर सकते हो या नहीं? कितने करते हैं? Just raise your hands. Faithfully करना. Just 5 of you. So I'm giving you another good lesson to do it. This is all scientifically, clinically, and experimentally proved. Yourself, because I have worn saffron clothes and I'm talking to you something, guiding you something, it's not that. मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ absolutely logical with survey, with experiments and everything. With the experience of thousands of companies all over the world. I've traveled to more than 50 countries of the world. This could be my more than 15,000th lecture. So I know what I'm talking. This could be very helpful to all the employees of the company. एक और बात, प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज को एक बार पूछा कि कौन सा विचार आपके मन में हमेशा रहता है? उन्होंने कहा कि जो विचार मेरे जीवन में कभी नहीं आया. That was more interesting. वो मैं बताऊं? सबने कहा हाँ. He said, किसी का भी अहित हो ऐसा विचार मुझे जीवन में कभी नहीं आया. This is ultimate HR. कोई भी एम्प्लॉय का अहित मत इच्छा. Because the world is round, it has no corners, so it does not have the place to keep your wrongs. आपने किसी का अहित इच्छा कि ये शायद भविष्य में मुझे प्रमोशन में कम्पीट करेगा, तो अभी से समझ गए, उसके लिए कुछ कार्यवाही शुरू करना, उसके लिए आपके सीईओ या एमडी जो भी एग्जीक्यूटिव टॉप हेड है उसके कानों में कुछ शब्द डालते रहना, ये सब प्रवृत्ति जिसको ऑफिस पॉलिटिक्स बोलते हैं, वो जो आप करेंगे तो द वर्ल्ड इज राउंड, इट विल बूमरैंग आपके पे 2 साल 5 साल में जरूर वो तकलीफ आएगी. इफ यू हैव हर्ट समबडी विद इंटेंशंस, इट हैज टू कम बैक एज अ गुड टाइम. Be very judicious when at your workplace. Somebody is right, but not towing your line, still telling him he's right. Somebody is wrong and towing your line, still telling him that you are wrong. नहीं, ये 6 मेरे हैं, ये मेरे हैं, मेरे साथ एक प्रीत है, ये मेरे हैं, उसमें ही सब बिगड़ता है. सभी एम्प्लॉइज मेरे हैं, सभी एम्प्लॉइज मेरे हैं. तो ये विचार, ये भी बहुत जरूरी. किसी का भी अहित मत इच्छा. ट्राई टू हेल्प देम इफ दे मेड अ मिस्टेक. At the IBM, an employee made a mistake and there was a loss of $60,000. And the concerned authority, he called him inside his office and said, "I've come to know about this." Said, "Yes, sir." Okay, fine, take care of it the next time so it doesn't happen. You may go. Somebody in the senior team questioned the deciding authority. Why did you fire him? He said, see the HR thought now, the level of HR thinking. He said that I have spent $60,000 to make him realize his mistake, to give him a chance to improve. I don't want other company to get the benefit of his improvement if I fire him. ये HR का बहुत अपर लेवल का थिंकिंग है. उसने गलती की है, 60,000 का लॉस आया. डिसाइडिंग अथॉरिटी ने एटीट्यूड क्या रखा कि I have paid $60,000 for him to regret on a mistake, to improve upon a mistake. And now he will definitely improve after the regret if I forgive him. Now if I fire him, some other company will get the advantage of his improvement at the cost of my $60,000. किस प्रकार का थिंकिंग है, किस लेवल का थिंकिंग है पता चला? हम तो गन लेके बैठे, $60,000 गो. वो तो सभी को आता है. So this is all beyond your textbooks. मगर भी बरोबर से हमारे MS यूनिवर्सिटी का डी लेता है. This is beyond your textbooks. As I said, we are since 30 years I am into HR 24/7 365. I can give you much minute details. My time is almost over. Otherwise, I have another such good set of thoughts for you, but some other day, fine. So that level of thinking. Another high example of ultimate HR. Abraham Lincoln won his election to become the president of the United States. It was his 16th attempt after 15 years. Then one fine morning, the next day, he sat down to make a list of his cabinet team. He was just thinking on the names, writing the name, and just on rough piece of paper. It was not like a final draft. Rough piece of paper, name and the cabinet rank that or the position that he wanted to give, in which he wrote Edwin Stanton, War Secretary. At that time, the name of that post was War Secretary. Now it is Home Secretary Department. So, no, in US it is Secretary of State. The second most important diplomat after the US President. Secretary of State Edwin Stanton, and his personal assistant Abraham Lincoln said, "Sir, if you don't mind, can I express myself on this?" Abraham Lincoln said, "Yes, please go on." "Sir, you know what you are writing? You have wrote the name of Edwin Stanton and giving him the second most important position after you in the setup." Abraham Lincoln goes, "Yes, I know what I'm writing." "Sir, you know that he opposes your policies and meetings?" Abraham Lincoln says, "Yes, I know." "Sir, you know that he denounces you as a clown in public?" "He denounces you as a clown." And Abraham Lincoln is a clown. "Sir, you know that?" Abraham Lincoln said, "Yes." Very cool, very calm. Abraham Lincoln goes, "Yes, I know. I've heard those audio tapes." "Sir, you know that he has talked negative about you to many senior leaders in the party?" Abraham Lincoln says, "Yes, I know. I have all the information that you say." So then, okay, if you are giving him such an important post. But sir, can I ask you, why are you giving him such an important post? You know all the things that I said, and such a person doesn't deserve a close cabinet rank in our inner circle. Abraham Lincoln said, first question to his secretary, "Is there any doubts about his integrity towards the nation?" Lincoln's personal assistant says, "Sir, no. In Edwin Stanton's 35-year history, there has not been a single occasion where we can doubt his integrity towards the nation." Okay. Second and last question. "Is he fit for the job that I am giving him?" And his PA says, "Yes. When it comes to the Secretary of State job, I think of the entire team that you have of probabbers, he is the best person to do the job." Abraham Lincoln says, "That's it. To give him this post, I need only two qualifications in him. He being fit for the job and his integrity towards the nation. I don't care what he talks about me in public." This should be your HR. Is he fit for the job? And is he fully faithful to the company and the policy? That's fine. Even if he does not say a good morning to you, and if he doesn't even shies away from you or turns around his head when he sees you, you have to see only these two things in it. That is your maturity as an HR manager. नहीं, वो तो गुड मॉर्निंग भी नहीं करता है, सामने भी नहीं देखता है, कभी मैंने किया तो आई डोंट थिंक ही इज मच कंफर्टेबल विद मी। कोई बात नहीं, एक चांस आने दे। ये तो सड़क पे रात को 12 बजे दो कुत्ते भी करते हैं, इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं। किसी को फंसाना, किसी से बैर लेना या किसी के नेगेटिव्स को बाहर लाना, वो तो इजीएस्ट टास्क है। But it is a very mean, very cheap thing to do in life. वो है, वो परिस्थिति में से वो ऊपर उठे, थोड़ा सुधरे, रिलेशनशिप्स में कैसी अच्छी तरह से उनके साथ वर्तन कर सकता हूँ, इस लाइंस पे सोचना, that will make you a proper HR and that will lead you to good promotions gradually in MNCs. वरना तो ये बरोड़ा है ही। If you want to go for good positions in MNCs, giant MNCs, ये qualities आप में चाहिए। सिर्फ एक्सपीरियंस और सर्टिफिकेट नहीं चलेगा। हर साल हजारों एचआर पैदा होते हैं, सभी को एचआर की जॉब भी नहीं मिलती है, हजारों लोग सर्टिफिकेट लेके बाहर निकलते हैं। ये क्वालिटीज आप डेवलप करेंगे, जिस तरह से इंजीनियर में टेक्निकल एक्सपर्टाइज चाहिए, जिस तरह से मैनेजरियल पोजीशंस में मैनेजरियल एक्सपर्टाइज चाहिए, उसी तरह एचआर में इमोशनल लिंकिंग एक्सपर्टाइज चाहिए. So I end my talk with this. You should have IQ, EQ and SQ. I give you some of the best examples of the highest levels of HR that people have exhibited in their lives in perhaps the most opposing, negative or difficult situations and circumstances. Yet they have set up an ideal bar for all of us juniors or some level seniors to be of a person of extraordinary quality. An HR person should be a person of extraordinary human qualities. Love, compassion, empathy, relationships. ये आपका कोर है, ये आपका बैकबोन है, ये आपका ब्लड है. तो इसी में रहना बहुत जरूरी है. तो fine, thank you very much for patiently listening to me. All my prayers for all of you, and I pray for the good of you, for the good of your all employees, and for the good of your company, for all their growth, and may you benefit the society to some more extent that you are doing today. Thank you very much, and my prayers for you.
Thank you so much, Swamiji, for the amazing golden words. And really fortunate that we got the opportunity to listen to you. So let me share some highlights that I think so from my side we need to take away to our life. The first and the most important thing is serve and smile relationship. Agree, everyone? Serve and smile relationship is very important. The next is 3H. That is hand, head, and heart. Right? Everybody, can you please do with me? Hand, head, and heart. Wonderful. Now, we have two projects that we are going to do after this program, because हमेशा मैं मानता हूँ कि knowledge is power when you apply it. Otherwise, there is no meaning of knowledge. So, स्वामी जी ने हमें दो काम दिया है करने के लिए. First and the most important project one, that is know your employees by name and face. Everybody agree on that? We'll do that. Project one. Know their qualities, know their good and bad things in terms of strength and weakness, so how we can help them to overcome that particular things. And next is project 2, that is pray for your employees, pray for good things. So we'll do that. Agree? So thank you so much, Swamiji, for the wonderful golden words, and I would like to request Hiren Shah to felicitate Swamiji with a wonderful bouquet. Please, team, bouquet for Swamiji. Please. Shanji and Praladji on the center stage to felicitate with a small memento from SHRP. Everybody, please. And last but not the least, a small gift from Vasu Healthcare. I would like to request Ashish ji and Gaurav ji to please come on the stage and help me for the same. And once again, last but not the least, thank you so much, Swamiji.
I would like to introduce all to my very good friend Ketan Vanjara, who is here with me as my guest. He has worked in very senior positions in Microsoft and HSBC. Just came from the US and a couple of days here, so I just got here with me. Thank you, Ketan, for joining me today. And one more exercise, as you said, you had a couple of games and some of interactive activities. One small game that I would like to tell you, you can include at that time, not now, because now the proceedings are different. All of you will be asked to write 10 names of your employees and against the name a good quality that you have observed in them. Okay? Then the conductor of the game would pick up any 3 from the audience to come on the dais, and from their list of 10, they would ask, the conductor would ask them to write the mobile number of any of that, and you have to search from one mobile number to write his cell number. Okay? Then he would ask 3 more people to come and call, these 3 people will call all the 3 employees whose numbers are with you today. And he said that your HR manager has seen a very good quality in you. Can you name that quality that you possess and your HR knows it? And the quality that matches that guy would be eligible for a good gift. Am I right? Let me see the amount of emotional connect that you have with your employees. Thank you very much. This I just got in my mind and I was sitting here and expressing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please. Sure. So once again, thank you so much, Swamiji, and Swamiji is leaving. So with the respect, and I would like to thank Swamiji once again. And